DeSanto Propane is 4 generations strong as a trustworthy, family-owned business with unmatched customer service. Go online at DeSantoPropane.com for more info or call toll-free at 1-800-752-4574 today. Since 1937, the difference has been DeSanto Propane.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into the FL1 Sports Podcast here on FingerLakes1.com. Paul Russo, Kyle Evans here with you. Boy, oh boy. Postseason football. Name of the game today. Breaking down wildcard weekend in the NFL. We got a couple of the college football semifinals to address as well. And then we don't have Jim today, so Kyle, it might just be me and you. Does Trae Young being traded to the Wizards mean anything? So that, and who knows, all our picks. Who knows what else might pop up. So a lot to get to, but first, I think a couple more of our sponsors today, including Auburn Auto Group when it comes to selection and service after the sale. Auburn Auto Group has been the premier destination for new and used car buyers for close to 40 years. Among the brands offered on Route 5 in Auburn include Chevrolet, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Honda, Toyota, and Subaru. Thanks to our wide range of makes and models, you're sure to find your new or used car at Auburn Auto Group. And Cafe 19, breakfast, lunch, pastries, celebratory cakes, pies, and catering. Guaranteed fresh and always local at Cafe 19 in Seneca Falls. Also offering an assortment of beverages, including tea, coffee, and espresso drinks. You can check out their full menus and weekly specials at xixcafe.com. All right, Kyle. Postseason football. It's here. Wild card round starts Saturday in the NFL. I wanted to kind of maybe get your thoughts on this. Feels weird. Normally, I feel like we have I don't know if each conference is on their own like day of sorts, but this year kind of feels jumbled up. I don't know if I may be misremembering or what, but definitely a strange schedule structure this year, I feel like.
Yeah, I was a little caught off guard by it. Usually the AFC South game is the 4:30 Saturday game. They changed that up this year. And yeah, it's like it goes like NFC, AFC, NFC, AFC. It's really broken up. I kind of like it. I didn't really like when there was just one day of NFC games.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I never really liked the format. So I think this is a little better in my opinion. Although I think the 4:30 Saturday game is probably going to be the worst game of the slate.
It's interesting. I actually go the other way. I like when it's AFC one day, NFC the next day, or something like that. We get the NFC South though for 4:30 Saturday, so it's not like it's all that far removed. Yeah. In terms of lines, it's the biggest line of the weekend. Yeah, you're probably right. Probably going to be the worst game. We'll see, though. Possibility of weather, so who knows? Always looking forward to that. I don't know. You mentioned off-air one team, Kyle. Is there a game for you that jumps out the most that you kind of want to talk about at all? Or
I mean, I don't know. I don't like. For me, they're so like up in the air. Like, I feel like this year we've talked about it all season. Like, you really don't have a clue what can happen, and if one thing happens that you don't expect, it's not even surprising. Like, if the Steelers go and beat the Texans, I mean, are we really that surprised based on how crazy this season's been?
That's true.
I mean, the Chargers, Patriots. If the Chargers get a run game going on the road, and somehow just try to chew up a lot of clock and beat the Patriots, I don't think I'd be surprised either. And also, we've talked about it all year. Look at the Patriots' schedule. They haven't played many great teams. The Bills twice. Of course, those are tough games, and maybe like 2 other teams. Other than that, they've faced like backup quarterbacks all year. So if they were a first-round exit, I wouldn't be that surprised.
Yeah, it's interesting. Looking at all the games, for the most part, I feel like there's a case for each team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe some less than others, which, we can maybe jump into a little bit too here if we want. But, I think that the perfect example of it, right, is this Buffalo-Jacksonville matchup that means a lot for around here, obviously. And me and you talked about it Monday on Bills Weekly, but, like, if you're a Bills fan, definitely not in the matchup you probably wanted in Jacksonville, because Jacksonville's a team that you can for sure see making a run hypothetically. Just like how I can see the Bills make a run hypothetically. Like, it's one of those things, and I think that's, a really good transition here too to some other games. Like, you look around, right? Green Bay, Chicago within a couple points. Buffalo, Jacksonville within a couple points for the most part. Your biggest line is outside of that first game on Saturday actually sits Sunday afternoon with the 49ers and Eagles. And even then, you look at that, that's really within still under the 5-point threshold. So it's like one of those things where it's like, okay, if you're a Panthers fan, you're probably feeling like crap to a degree, obviously, but like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like we can't say that necessarily, although in the postseason in any sport, you can't take anybody lax or for granted or anything like that. But it's interesting, right? Because like we mentioned that game, the one of the games that stick out to me is Saturday night. I think has a real possibility for being the game of the weekend in Green Bay and in Chicago. And I don't want to give too much of it away because that game involves one of my picks that we'll get to in later on. But like, I don't know. You have your oldest rivalry in the sport and everything. It gets hyped up every time it's played, and it's your Saturday night game. Like, crazy stuff tends to happen in those scenarios.
Yeah, and I want to point out too. Jim mentions it. It seems like almost every week, and he's actually right. I did the research. The experience in these playoffs among quarterbacks. I mean, the two number one seeds in each conference have 0 playoff wins.
Yeah.
And you look at a guy like Josh Allen, who's going to be playing in his 14th career playoff game, but he has 7 wins of those previous 13. That is triple the second next amount for an AFC quarterback, which is C.J. Stroud with 2. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers has 11, so he's number 1. But after Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers, I mean, you look at the career playoff wins, and it's funny. Trevor Lawrence 1, Justin Herbert 0. Like, this is what I also think makes it so unique and fun, and a lot of stuff that probably is going to happen that we're not experiencing, or not ready to experience, but we're going to all of a sudden see it. Like I said, just because the Jaguars have been rolling all year doesn't mean they're going to go in and throttle the Bills.
Right.
Because of how hot they've been.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this is just like a new season. Everything's on the line. It's totally different vibes.
Yeah. And it's a really good example too, because not lost in all of this, because it's something that I've seen enough of in the past few days, is a lot of people talking about how there's no Mahomes this year, there's no Lamar Jackson this year, there's no Burrow in the postseason. Like, this should be Josh Allen's time and everything like that. So
I do want to add a point to that, though.
Yeah.
And I agree. Mina Kimes of ESPN tweeted this out yesterday, and I thought it was a very valid point.
No, that's where I was going with it.
Yes, the 3 big quarterbacks are out, but at the same time, if you look at every playoff game that Josh Allen's played in, yes, he's had maybe a couple games where he should have went and won the game for the Bills, and it didn't happen. But most of the time, the defense has failed them significantly.
Yeah.
They're giving up over 30 points a game in the playoffs. It's not a recipe for many wins. So the fact that he has 7 is, I think, impressive.
Yeah, I was going to talk about specifically that, how everybody's kind of mentioning about how the Bills should be whatever. I'm like,
it's a flawed roster.
It's if you haven't been paying attention all year, like, not great.
Yeah.
So, we'll table obviously the picks for just a couple more minutes here, because we have to get through some other stuff involving this wild card round and other
I have
things.
a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Down.
So that's good. It's good. Is it more for your picks or more?
It's
general
just like
discussion?
interesting things that like kind of like stats.
I'll let you cook then.
Like this is like the biggest one to me, that the 49ers, Rams, and Texans are all going on the road for the wild card round. and they're playing teams that have worse records than they do.
Yeah.
That's only the third time that's ever happened in NFL history, and we're getting 3 of those teams this weekend going on the road. I mean, for example, the Rams. You look at the Rams and Panthers on paper.
Yeah.
Yes, the Panthers beat them earlier this year, but it looks like such a mismatch. It's like
Right.
almost hard to believe they're going to be on the same field for Wild Card Weekend. And I mean, the Texans Steelers, like on paper again, you would think the Texans are the better team, but who knows? So I just thought that stat was pretty crazy.
Yeah, you said the 49ers were the other team, right?
Oh,
in
yeah,
there?
49ers.
And with them, I think health is a big question mark
Yeah,
in this
banged up.
game. So, yeah, who knows? Who knows there? Yeah, I was going to say, whatever stats you got, don't be afraid to share them as usual. So,
Yeah.
but
I basically have some for each game, but I don't know if you want to like go through the game. Like, how many picks are we gonna make?
well, we're doing the usual 3.
So whatever games I'll pick, I'll probably just mention a few
Yeah.
stats or whatever.
Yeah, so, and then obviously maybe we can jump back into it there. Before we get to our picks, though, Kyle, we did have Black Monday in the NFL and then some this past week. For me personally, I'm not surprised by any of them. And yes, that includes Harbaugh. If you know anything about me on this podcast and Bills Weekly or Fresh Takes or whatever, you know I've been seeing this day coming for a while. So I'm not surprised by that. I don't know if, Kyle, for you, if anybody jumped out for you that got fired. I will say this, and Nick brought up a good point. Nick Felice brought up a good point to me yesterday. Don't know. I'm with him. I don't know if we're necessarily done seeing coaches being fired, depending upon how this playoff goes for certain teams. So I would say there's stuff to keep an eye on there. But for these first wave, Kyle, of teams eliminated already, anybody stick out?
Yeah, I didn't think the Ravens would actually do it though. That's what I'm surprised about. And I would say the Mike McDaniel thing today, I caught me off a little off guard only because I thought it would have happened sooner. I mean, they haven't played, since Sunday.
I think it's because of Harbaugh, though.
I've been seeing a lot of reports about that too. But there was just a report before we came on the air that they haven't even reached out to Harbaugh or even discussed him yet. But I mean, that could change. It just happened, the firing. But on top of that, I don't think there's any surprises. I mean, Pete Carroll for the Raiders, like obviously, I mean, look at how bad they were.
Yeah.
2-2. What was it? 2-15. Or
Three.
did they get their? They got their third win last week. Yeah. And then all the other guys. I mean, maybe I thought Kevin Stefanski was a little unfair.
Yeah, that's the one.
The roster again.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't figure out the quarter. How many times do we keep talking about the Browns with the quarterback?
Yeah.
They don't figure it out.
Yeah,
So It's a tough roster to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, he 2-time coach of the year. Look, I probably can't say it because of my favorite team with the Commanders, but like, I talk about a dumpster fire organization. I mean, I just if you're Stefanski, if you're a team, I think Stefanski should be your first call out of anything in this cycle. Especially have a young quarterback offense, and I might be dropping some crumbs here, obviously on purpose, Kyle. But like, if I'm the Giants or Tennessee, I'm probably making him target number 1, no matter what. Maybe, like I said, maybe that's not the case, but like if I'm Stefanski, I think those are the 2 places I'd really want to be because they have young quarterbacks. They showed there's talent there throughout the year a little bit, maybe more so obviously with the Giants and Tennessee, but like Tennessee also has the most cap available going into this offseason, so that they're probably going to go out and spend a little bit. You're the Giants. It's arguably the best market to be in sports is the New York market. You have a young quarterback with some talent around him. I think it makes all the sense in the world. So I think those are probably some matches already pre-made of sort. And then after that, who knows? I think this coaching cycle might be interesting. I don't know if we're going to see a ton of retreads necessarily, or if we're going to see, and I think this is the way it's going to play out, I think we might see more coordinators maybe get some jobs here this cycle than we've seen in the past couple, than classic retreads, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen, like, of course, the interview request every
Yeah.
every hour. It seems like we're getting a new report.
Right.
You know, like a guy like Brian Flores, who did used to coach but has been a coordinator. Yeah, I could see like some guys that haven't been a head coach in the last few years coming back to do it.
Yeah, I just don't see if you're a team right now, right? Like maybe not Baltimore. Baltimore's maybe not the right example. Tennessee, for example, right? Um, I know they're requesting to interview Raheem Morris and everything, but like, why would you want to bring in Raheem Morris if you just saw what happened with Atlanta? And that's not a knock on Morris, right? But like, why would you want to do that to yourself, to your team, in a similar spot that they've been in with him, right? Young quarterback, trying to figure this deal out. Like, sorry, that's just not. I don't see it playing out that way, nor should it.
And one other side note on these coaches, I would say to NFL owners and GMs and, during their discussions, maybe you shouldn't keep handing out these extensions the year before you're going to fire a coach.
Yeah.
I get it. In the time of the extension, you don't know what's going to play out and how it's going to work. But we have two coaches that have been fired this week who were just handed 3-year extensions in the last 16 months. I mean,
Yeah.
no need for it. You
Yeah.
don't need to all of a sudden just give a guy an extension. Like, for example, Harbaugh. Like, he was there 18 years. Did you really need to just hand him another 3-year extension?
Right.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Maybe hold off on the extensions.
It's a novel concept. So, all right. Let's get to our picks then. Excuse me on that note. Last week's picks. Jim, not here, so we can't get his thoughts on this, but he's back in the winning column with this past week. So job well done to him. We all whiffed on the 49ers, just absolute miserable showing. Kind of leads into that, funnily enough with me at least, with the Washington pick fade with the Eagles, Kyle. But that game leaves me with some doubts for their game this week in the wild card round against Philly. And then you and Jim, despite, it's an outright loss in the game, covered that 3 with the Panthers. And then you couldn't quite get there with Baltimore. You would have been toast no matter what there, unfortunately. But that field goal, that game was just absolutely insane. So,
yeah, when it was 10-0 in the first half, I was feeling good. I was like, well, I knew the Ravens would come to play.
Yeah.
And then what happened? The second half Ravens collapse under John Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
Always happens. 17 times since 2020, they've lost when leading in the final 5 minutes of a game.
Yep.
And now you wonder why he got fired despite his long 18-year tenure.
Yep. It's almost like I know something. Scary. All right. So Jim did send me his picks. So we'll kind of sprinkle them in here as we go. Kyle, do you want me to go first, or do you want you to go first? What do you want to do?
You could go first.
Okay. So I'm going to kick things off with that Saturday night game I kind of mentioned. I'm actually going to go with the Bears getting 2.5 here. I'm worried about the health side of things with Green Bay. That's going to be a theme with my picks here, admittedly, Kyle. Well, for 2 of them anyway. They've played super recently. It's a split deal. I think I gotta go with more what we've trusted and seen recently, right? Like you mentioned, it's a new season essentially when we get to the playoffs, right? So I think I gotta trust the fact that I know I'm gonna have 2 healthy running backs with Chicago. I know I'm going in with a healthy quarterback for Chicago. I know my skill guys in Chicago are healthy. Can't really say that with Green Bay exactly right now, right? I know everybody, quote unquote, is back, but we've seen Josh Jacobs not make it full games towards the end of the year. We've seen the skill guys for Green Bay. We know about the tendency that they have to just kind of go in and out. And even then, is Jordan Love going to be able to sustain the whole game if he does take a hard hit again with a concussion and everything? So. And then if he goes down, what's the deal with Malik Willis, right? So I'm going to trust my gut, go with the Bears here. It sounds like a weird thing to say, like we fell into the twilight zone, but I'm going to grab the home team catching points here.
Well, I guess I better just tell you that that's one of my picks too.
Okay.
I agree with the health thing. That's one of my reasons. I like the Bears being home where they've played much better.
Mm-hmm.
The home team in the season series between the two won each
Yep.
game. And here's the biggest one. It seems like this is the theme of my picks this week. I think some of these long losing streaks, playoff losing streaks, end, and one of them is the Bears, who haven't won a playoff game since 2010.
Yeah.
So it just seems right that the streak ends. They move on to the divisional round. It's in Chicago. The fans honestly they've had it bad the last decade.
Yeah.
Nothing's gone right for them. They've been laughable.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good night in Chicago for the Bears.
I like it. All right. Glad to have me and you on the same side here. Jim's first game is actually one of the college games, the semifinal. He's going Oregon plus 4.5 against Indiana. I actually like that pick as well. Not making it one of mine, but I like it, Jim. So you have my support. Quack, quack. My second game, I've been teetering on this, and I decided this morning I'm going to do it. It goes against what I said Monday. I'm doing Jacksonville plus 2.5 against Buffalo. I think I'm going to try, again, home team catching points in the playoffs here. I think this game's going to be a lot tighter than people kind of think. And if it gets to a point, right, where we mentioned it, this Bills defense, for as great as they've been all year collectively, they have had some rough moments. Let's not duck it. And then let's look at through the other prism, right? Like the Bills' offense has certainly had some struggles here of late. And it just makes me kind of wonder whether or not this is actually the year. And I hope for the case of a lot of people around here it's not, but I gotta go with whatever I think can make me get an extra unit in my bankroll, and I think that's Jacksonville plus 2.5.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate your pick because again, it's Thursday. We talked about this Monday. I don't have a great feeling on this game. I don't have a good, so I'm gonna stay away from this game. But if I had to pick, I'd probably go with you.
Okay.
But remember, my prediction Monday was 28-27 Bills win.
True.
So that would work out.
That would cover. My prediction, it wouldn't.
Yeah.
So
I'm not going to do that game, so you're good on that one. I think I'm going to go with the Panthers-Rams game.
Oh.
What's the lowest line you have?
Well, I can get you 9.5 if you're laying the Rams.
There you go. And let me explain why.
All right.
Yes, the Panthers beat them at home, back in November. But what did Matthew Stafford do in that game? 3 turnovers.
True.
He had a pick 6, just a regular pick, and a fumble. He played awful. One of his worst games of his MVP caliber season. So I think that doesn't happen. I like that the Rams have extra rest. I don't like the Panthers' offense right now. They have not been scoring points. In fact, they haven't even gone over 23 points since that Rams game. It's been over a month. So, yeah, I think they're going to win maybe like 31-17. And that's easily covered.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty realistic. If the Panthers do win, I mean, that'll be fun because it's just chaos. It just everyone I think thinks, does anyone have the Panthers winning this game?
Not that I've seen.
I mean, obviously the Panthers fans are probably delusional,
Right.
but whatever. So yeah, and then the fact that the Panthers made the playoffs with an 8-9 record, they have a negative 69 point differential.
Not nice.
And by the way, they lost to the Saints twice this season.
Yeah. Yep.
But then they beat the Rams. So
Football.
So yeah, the Rams will take care of business here, and Puka Nacua will go for 200 yards.
I like that. Yeah, it's tough. Double digits. We talk about the double digit spreads in the regular season, especially with playoff time. It's kind of hard to ignore. But yeah, I think the fact you can get that number under 10 if you're on the Rams side of things, that's a good jump opportunity. I like it. All right, Jim's second pick. He's staying with the LA feel here on the road. He's going Chargers plus 4 at New England. Personally speaking, don't know if I'm going after anything with that just right now, but I do like the idea of it anyway. So there's that. All right, my final pick. I kind of alluded to it a little bit here, and this part sucks, but I'm going with the Eagles -3.5 against the 49ers. I'm not thrilled with it. But again, it's one of those, like, you have to read the leaves a little bit here. 49ers have gotten banged up. The way they played against Seattle did not give me a lot of faith in them. And
Even Chicago, too. They couldn't get a stop.
correct. And that's against two different variants of good defenses, right? Like, the Seattle defense has been, at worst, the second best defense in the league for the most part, right? The Bears defense, right? Some middle of the road stuff, but like they're turnover heavy and they play good enough. This is an Eagles defense that falls maybe more to that Bears side than the Seahawks side, except they don't give up maybe the amount of points that the Bears defense gives up. You know, it's just one of those things where I'm sorry, but like going into a week last week, the 49ers, where everybody was talking about how like the furthest they're going to have to travel is the hour and a half up to San Francisco for media day for the Super Bowl if they get to that point. Only for them to lay the egg like they did against Seattle. They have to come east to take on the Eagles in this game. You have Brock Purdy, whose hand is messed up bad. You have other guys who are banged up, and I know Trent Williams is coming back. That's fine and well. Trent Williams also can't play pass prevent on defense for them. That's a bad defense. And the one thing, if I'm a bad defense, is don't want to give an offense an opportunity to score, like the Eagles ones where they're struggling and they're hungry to get points. So I'm sorry. It pains me across the board. I got to take the Eagles laying the points.
So it's funny, we have like similar thoughts. That was one of my games too. For your reason, 49ers banged up, and I thought this stat was pretty telling too. The Eagles are 5-0 at home under Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni in the playoffs with a plus 105 differential.
That's crazy.
Every game's been decided by 20 or more points except one, which was last year against the Rams.
Yeah.
And Nick Sirianni decided not to play his starters last week.
Yeah.
So they have extra rest.
And
it cost them a seed, which is crazy, but if they win this game, I guess it won't really show at the divisional round. So
yeah.
But yeah, I actually feel pretty good about this one. The 49ers could not stop that Bears offense.
So it sounds like you want to tail and take the Eagles here.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
You have -3.5, right?
Yes.
All right, I'll do that.
3.5, you got it.
I almost was going to do the Texans-Steelers game. Because...
No. Which side of that, when you give your explanation too here, what side were you going to be leaning on that one?
Well, all week I've had Texans -3.
Mm-hmm.
But because the Steelers play in these stupid games, and what they've done the last few weeks, 4-1, Rodgers, even though I'm not a big fan of him either, we have to admit, even the tape tells it in the numbers, he has been better than he was throughout the year. But I just feel like the Texans' defense is too much regardless of how the Steelers have been playing. So I was going to roll with Texans -3. I think they win by 4, by 6 at minimum. But Rodgers is going to get picked off in this game.
Well, that's interesting because Jim's final pick is the Steelers +3.5.
Yeah, he really likes the Steelers.
He does.
I just can't get on it.
I don't.
They're just not good enough.
I don't hate, in the grand scheme of it, points for a home team if you can always grab them. I'm with you. I got a lot of questions. It's about like the Steelers' offense against that Texans defense, and
I have some wild stats on this game. This is the game I wrote down stats.
Go ahead, cook.
Remember, the Steelers haven't won a playoff game since 2016. They lost 6 straight games. They would join 3 other teams if they were to lose this game as the only teams ever to lose 7 straight games, playoff games. And ready for this? In their 6-game playoff losing streak, here's some of the deficits they've faced. 27 points, 21 points, 28 points, 28 points, 21 points, 21 points. They get blown out in the playoffs under Mike Tomlin in the last decade. Like these last 6 playoff games during the streak haven't even been close. So that's why I don't want to pick the Steelers here, because that Texans defense is so good that they can literally score a defensive touchdown and just minimize the running game. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is probably going to get sacked a ton. I mean, if Josh Allen's getting sacked 6 times, what is Aaron Rodgers going to get sacked?
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't feel good, regardless of them being home. And for this game, that doesn't mean anything to me.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Of course, as we all know, I'm also praying for the Steeler downfall. So there's that. Those are our picks. Lock them in. Do whatever you got to do. So,
what do you think, though, on the Chargers-Patriots game? Like, how are you actually feeling about it?
My gut's New England because of the Herbert stuff still. I know they sat him, but, like, I don't know. He didn't look good that month with it. So, I don't know. And I think if there is one game for the Patriots to win, you know, with the people talking about how they haven't seen anybody all year, it's probably going to be this one before you get to next weekend, the divisional round, and you get the seed effect and stuff like that. So,
I will say, I mean, the stat really doesn't matter to completely different teams, but I found this interesting. The Chargers are 4-0 as an underdog in the wild card round in their history. Most recently in 2018, they won a game when they were an underdog in the wild card round. So I just sometimes don't like those kind of stats because they're completely different teams, different scenarios of where you're playing. But that, I mean, I guess that's still crazy. 4-0, 4 different times they've won as an underdog in the wild card round.
For sure.
So,
all right. Well, hey, let's talk a couple minutes here quickly because of just the way the schedule falls. The college football playoff semifinals begin tonight with the Fiesta Bowl, Miami and Mississippi. Tomorrow night, Friday, Oregon, Indiana. Great matchups. Again, the bye weeks kind of come into effect here a little bit. Indiana, the only one who wasn't affected by it. They beat Alabama in the Rose Bowl. Great win there. We know what side Jim's leaning on one of these games. Figured I'd at least offer my picks here and stuff. I kind of think I really do like Miami tonight, Thursday night against Mississippi. Miami, I think their defense is going to be really good against this Mississippi offense and stuff like that. I think there's too much chaos right now around the Mississippi coaching staff situation. Didn't know what the deal was with Wise and the running back coach. They're going to coach, but also it seemed like it was a really late call here at this point to figure out. So I give the edge to the Hurricanes tonight in the Fiesta Bowl. In the Peach Bowl tomorrow, I'm actually signing with Jim. It pains me to do it, to go against Indiana and Cignetti, but I picked Oregon at the start of the year as my college football champion. I got to stick with the Ducks while they're still in it. Hard to beat a team twice in 1 year in the college side when these opportunities pop up. That would have to be the case tomorrow. Indiana won at Oregon back in October, so I'm rolling with the Ducks tomorrow. I kind of like the guys coming back fully healthy again, replenish the troops. I think that one's going to be the best game out of the two, though.
well,
So.
I got Indiana.
Oh, look, I was not anticipating Kyle, you having picks in the college football side, though, here, so go ahead.
And I will have the game on because, you know, I have a lot of TVs and it's Friday, so there's
You have something.
not many NHL games on, but, you know, me not knowing a ton, I'm just going to roll with the number 1 seed in Indiana.
Okay. All right. What about tonight? Miami and Mississippi.
Miami.
Okay. There you go. All righty. You heard it from Kyle then. Lock him in.
And because I don't know much,
Yeah.
how rare would it be if Indiana and Miami met in the national champion? Like, when's the last time they've gotten there?
Well, Miami, the U has had this storied history, and but this would be the first time since the early 2000s for them, 2002, or well, 3, and they're treating this whole playoff like a revenge tour for that specific year. This would be the first national championship appearance period for Indiana. This would be if they were to fully come out and on top and win it in a week and a half. It'd be their first national title ever in football. This is in terms of power conferences. This has been the worst power conference team of all time. Period. I think their win percentage before Cignetti got there was like a 436 or something like that. I mean, just historically bad. So this would be, you want to talk about rare, it'd be unprecedented.
So put that in NFL terms. What would the Super Bowl in the NFL be like to kind of compare how like rare it would be? Would it be like the Chargers making it this year?
No, because we've seen the Chargers make runs before. This would be...
It's tough.
This might be more trending towards the Lions/Browns side of things. Maybe the Lions, to be proper, kind of look at like last year. Probably say something like a Lions. See, the tough part about that early 2000s is we were stuck with the Patriots on the AFC side of things. Maybe like a Patriots-Colts or a Lions-Colts type Super Bowl in a way, right? We've seen the Colts do it before. They have championships. They haven't reached that summit, though, now in 19 years. So it's probably a good comp, I guess.
And then I'm noticing that if Miami makes it, the national championship game is in Miami.
Yes.
So it's kind of like when the Rams won their Super Bowl.
Yeah, that part has not happened. See, it's a little bit different in college because before even the BCS stuff in the late 90s, the national championship was decided via the sports writers. So you didn't necessarily control which game would be the de facto national championship deciding game. So Miami had won actually national championships before in their home stadium when they played in the Orange Bowl. So that's happened before. I suppose technically, I don't know if UCLA won the Rose Bowl the year that they won it back in the 50s, but the college side, I wouldn't say it's as unprecedented as the NFL side, just because of that. In more recent times, that just hasn't happened, right? No college team plays their regular season games at whatever they call it now out in Glendale, State Farm Stadium or whatever, right? No college team calls AT&T Stadium home. No team calls the Superdome home or Mercedes-Benz home. But Miami still does call now the Orange Bowl's at Hard Rock, and that's where Miami is. And, they do call that home for them. So it would be the first, I guess, in this modern playoff format that it would happen, though. So
interesting stuff.
Yeah. All right. Before we get out of here, Kyle, I do want to talk quickly because me and you, we pay attention to the NBA. We had our first major trade of the season, Trae Young to Washington yesterday, and I did find it kind of interesting because obviously the bulk of the rumors all year have not been involving him. It's been Giannis, or I guess depending on how you view him now at this point, Anthony Davis and maybe those type of players. The Trae Young stuff kind of crept up over the course of the past week plus. Obviously, stuff had been building, but crept up on the week plus. I found it interesting that his preferred destination was Washington. I don't think many people really exactly have the Wizards circle as a premier destination just yet again. But lo and behold, that's where he goes for CJ McCollum and Kispert. And just an interesting deal. I don't know how it's really going to affect either one of these teams, right? The Wizards, I think, shown a little bit of promise this year. I don't think it's obviously like playoff promise or anything like that, but they looked better in terms of that young core than what they've shown the past couple of years. And on the Hawks side of things, I think maybe you could make a case to switch something up, but they're back at least in the playoff hunt again this year. I don't know if even without Trae or with Trae that ceiling changes at this point, but I think they have a shot at trying to get one of these bigger names, and to do that, they had to move off of Trae Young's salary, so they did it. I don't know. For me, I've never been a Trae Young guy. I don't know how you feel about him, but I've never been a Trae Young guy. Even going back to college for me, I just remember in Oklahoma, one of my big sticking points I remember back in 2017 or whatever it was he's right side dominant. He only shoots threes, weak defender. And that's been the case in the NBA. Same thing, right? For as great as a shooter as he can be and stuff like that, those faults have stayed the same. So to me, I think Atlanta gives them a chance to go and get one of these bigger names now beyond Trae Young because they move off his money. But for actual playing wise, I don't know if it changes anything for their season ceiling wise.
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely caught off guard that it was the Wizards.
Yeah.
I mean, I was on my phone and I see the notification and I see Wizards. I'm like, what? And I just thought it was surprising because look where the Wizards are. They're in like a rebuild. They're bringing on a player that's making $46 million.
Yeah.
A veteran player that's making $46
they are on the hook for now.
Yeah. So it's I thought that for that reason alone, that was stunning.
Yeah.
I knew that Atlanta, was going to be trading him because Trae Young asked for a trade and his agents were working. And I think they are better off without him. I mean, this season alone, they're 2-8 with him in the lineup.
Yeah.
That's crazy. 2-8. But without him, they're 16-13.
Yeah.
So, just they needed to get him out. And yes, now they can, take that money and try to do something else differently and build around, what's his name, Jalen Johnson?
Yeah.
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 Jalen Johnson.
Who's been really good, but I don't know. He might be another one of these pieces where if you're the Hawks, I think he's untouchable, but I think if you're one of these teams that they're going to be engaged with to get, say, an Anthony Davis or somebody of that type, going to be hard to imagine a team not wanting him. So we'll have to see how it plays out for them.
And I forgot to answer your first question. Do I like Trae Young? I'm not a big fan of Trae Young, but I only liked him when he would beat up on the Knicks. It's the only time I would text my friends about how I loved Trae Young.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I think that was what the original big side talk video was, the Trae Young game, I think. That was the first time I ever hearing about them. So, yeah, there's that. Sabres winning streak came to an end this past week.
We have to talk hockey. Olympics,
But I know you mentioned earlier this week you're more paying attention to this rebound stretch of games here coming up for them and how they do there. Yeah, we got a picture again of the Olympic ice today I saw, which I kind of chuckled at because I felt like the ice was not the bigger issue. Well, the ice was not the big issue here, but who knows? Yeah. Also, we had the Winter Classic this past weekend.
That was weird.
Very strange. So, I don't know your thoughts on pretty much everything there.
Well, I'll start with the Sabres. They did bounce back from losing. They won Tuesday night against the Vancouver Canucks. We're up 4-0. Canucks made it 4-3, but they hit the empty netter to win. So I like seeing that. I told you off air a lot of times when the first loss comes, it tends to build 4, 5, 6 in a row. They are on the road tonight facing the Rangers, who, for whatever reason, do not play well at the Garden this year.
They do not.
So if they win tonight, they're guaranteed back into a playoff spot. They're 1 point out right now of the second wildcard spot. And they're 2 points out of the first wildcard spot with 3 games in hand on Montreal. Mm-hmm. So essentially, they win a couple, they're taking over the first wildcard spot. And even the divisional playoffs are alive for the Sabres. They could actually make a divisional spot, one of the 3 spots. Probably not the first one because the Lightning are being unbelievable right now.
You're goddamn right.
They won't lose after their 2-6-2 start or whatever they had.
Yeah.
But as a whole, I know you've seen it. The Eastern Conference is nuts.
Yeah.
From top to bottom, every one of the 16 teams are above 500.
Yeah.
And they're all separated by a few points.
Yeah.
So any long losing streak for anyone, we're talking Florida, Pittsburgh, they're going to drop down. So you don't want to lose that many in a row.
Yeah, before going back to you on those other couple hockey stuff too, it's kind of funny to me seeing Maple Leafs fans freak out right now. And I feel like any other year they'd be like kind of ho-hum. But you're right, it's just the way that the year has been. Yeah. Like it's I don't remember a year frankly ever like this in terms of like top to bottom. I don't know if depth is the right word because I don't like there's just no way some of these teams sustain, right? Like it's just not possible, but like getting through the de facto. Well, we are through halfway through the year. Like, I hate calling it de facto, but like, we are halfway through the season for the NHL, and having this many teams still all in it, right on one side, it's crazy to me. It's crazy.
Yeah, every night in the Eastern Conference, if you take the ice and you're playing another Eastern Conference team,
Yeah.
there's no easy night. A lot of times it used to be, oh well, we're playing the Sabres tonight. It's point night. Not anymore.
No.
And for example, the Sabres' 10-game win streak ended in Columbus, and at the time of that game, Columbus was the worst team in the Eastern Conference, with a winning record essentially because they were above 500,
Right.
and they lost in their building. So. Yeah, I mean, this is a year where if you're the high-powered teams like usual, like I already mentioned, Florida, Pittsburgh, whatever, any 3, 4, 5-game losing streak, you're going to drop down to the bottom where Toronto is right now.
Yeah.
And Toronto needs to string together a 5, 6, 7-game win streak to get back to where they're used to being. That's how crazy it is. So yeah, I mean, it's been one of the most enjoyable seasons. We talked about it a few weeks ago. The players that are, headlining the nights now, like the Macklin Celebrini stuff.
Yeah.
He's just ridiculous what he's doing as a teenager.
Yeah.
Matthew Schaefer and with the Islanders. I think this is so fun. Again, I don't know how you can't like hockey, but then again, I'm not a big college football fan, and people probably think I'm nuts for that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, hockey's awesome though.
Everybody's different, but yeah, I mean, Schaefer's a good example, right? Because Tom Brady's favorite player right now is Matt Schaefer, which is crazy, right, to think about. So, what did you make, by the way? I don't know if you even saw this, but allegedly, we're going to call it the leader in the clubhouse for the host of the NHL draft this year, Buffalo.
Yeah, I saw that. That's interesting. But that shouldn't be the only event that Buffalo's hosting coming up.
True.
With the new stadium, they got to bring back the Winter Classic to Buffalo.
Yeah.
That Pittsburgh Buffalo Winter Classic, the first one ever.
Oh,
was
my
at the
God.
Ralph was when it was snowing, and they went to a shootout, and Crosby did.
I watched
Bring
it.
them to
I
a
remember
win.
watching it in the hospital.
Oh,
That's a story for a different time.
but yeah, just great. Of course, I was super young, so I'd like to see it now. And at the new stadium, I think honestly, it's going to happen because Buffalo hasn't hosted in 15 years. So
Sheesh. Yeah.
09?
More than that.
Yes. Oh yeah. So yeah, I'm excited for that. And yeah, the draft, I mean, that's cool, but it's going to be nice to not probably have to pick
Right.
in the top 10 for once.
I know. I know. That's the funny part a little bit too, is like Buffalo wouldn't be hypothetically in the lottery anymore. It's like,
Yeah.
well, but like you said, it's a bit of a good / well, mostly good thing in that situation, obviously. So, all right, I got nothing else at this point. I don't know if you got anything or we
Just
missed.
the Olympic rosters.
Yeah.
I didn't like some of the guys that were snubbed.
Well, yeah,
Jason Robertson from Dallas. He has 57 points in 41 games. I mean, how is the guy not on the roster? You let Vincent Trocheck and JT Miller of the Rangers.
Yeah.
If you're going to put Vincent Trocheck on the roster, then Alex Tuch needs to be on the roster.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
then Cole Caulfield, how is he not on the roster?
Yeah. I don't understand Sullivan. Mike Sullivan's head coach for the Rangers. He's head coach for the U.S. team in the Olympics, and he's claiming culture fit, and I'm just like sitting there going like, just say that you wanted your guys. Like to me, you're better off just admitting like you wanted your guys in at that point.
Yeah, Vincent
Like
Trocheck.
don't lie to me about culture. Like Robertson, like you'd be blind not to recognize what he is.
Every year. For the past, 3 years?
Yeah.
At least. He's been putting up, 30-plus goals, 70-plus points.
And you mean to tell me, like, if he got the nod, and, like, this is going to be a really weird example I'm using, but, I don't know if you saw, but Eric Hula made it for Finland. And he's been trying to get on a national team roster like that for 12-plus years. And I don't know how much time he's actually realistically going to see on ice during this, right? But, like, he's thrilled. Like, he's going to go out there and be an absolute animal if he's on the ice. He said it himself. Like, you can tell me that, that's the crazy part to me, that, like, Robertson, like, wouldn't do something for the U.S., like, have an impact. Like, you're crazy. You are crazy if you don't think so.
Yeah, and Cole Caulfield, I would think it's the second biggest snub
Mm-hmm.
among the USA roster. Alex Tuck, I don't think he's necessarily a snub. I mean, I like Alex Tuck a lot. He does a lot for the team. He is a really good player. But I think he'd definitely be like a sub if there was an injury. Maybe like
Yeah.
if there was a injury to like a couple guys, he'd be in. But then like Team Canada, I do want to talk about too. How is Sam Bennett of Florida not on that roster? Because he won back-to-back Stanley Cups. He won the Conn Smythe.
Fair.
Like the guy has been unbelievable for Florida. And then we didn't even mention if Connor Bedard wasn't hurt,
Yeah.
somebody would be off that roster and he'd be on that roster.
Well, you'd think.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's just a lot of crazy. I mean, the USA and Canada rosters are stacked.
Yeah.
Now, Canada has a goalie issue. Jordan Binnington is probably your starter,
Yeah.
and that's not great. Jeremy Swayman's on that roster, not great.
Yeah.
So,
The Bennington problem's been there for what, the past at least 3 major international competitions, right? I mean, 4 Nations last year. Yeah, the 4 Nations. Was it the Federation thing a couple years ago too that popped up or whatever the hell they call it? Like
Jordan
it's
Binnington's best year was that 2019 Stanley Cup run, the
Yeah.
Blues. And at the time, everyone, he got his contract. Everyone thought he was like one of the top 5 goalies in the NHL. And since then, I mean, his attitude sucks.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen the clips. He's constantly
Look
complaining.
at the one from yesterday.
Yeah. Just, he's not I would not like to have Jordan Binnington on my team.
Yeah.
And he likes to, get into skirmishes with players. Like,
Yeah.
dude, you're a goalie. Just get back.
Yeah.
Save the puck from going in the net. Worry about that.
There you go.
But yeah, that's the Olympics are going to be so fun. I mean, seeing USA with Jack Eichel, Austin Matthews,
Yeah.
they're going to be so good.
And the Olympics themselves we're technically under a month away from beginning.
Yep.
So a lot to look forward to.
Italy,
Yeah.
wow, fun times.
Ciao.
And do you remember the last time they participated in the Olympics, the NHL? It's been a long time.
Yeah.
And where it was? Do you remember? It was a little quiz here.
Was it Vancouver in 2010? Earlier than that?
No, actually later. Just a few years later. It's not as long as you think, but I still think it's kind of a long time.
So 14?
Yep.
Or was it in 14? This isn't good. I don't remember. Oh,
Alex Ovechkin.
Sochi, Russia, right?
Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
Remember the TJ Oshie?
Yep.
The shootouts that they kept having, and he kept and what's the rule? You can use the same shooter. I think you can use the same shooter a second
Yeah.
time or some
Yeah.
crazy rule. But yeah, the TJ Oshie
Yeah.
2014 run where
Yep.
yeah, crazy times.
Oh my God.
Again, I was so young at the time.
Yeah.
So 11, 12 years later, we're finally going to
I
be
was
back.
a sophomore in college. I would have been 19/20. So, yeah. So, all right. Well, we'll get
One
out.
more thing, sorry,
Yeah.
one more
You're
thing
good. You're good.
on the NBA,
Oh, go ahead.
because we didn't talk about this. What do you make of the Thunder? What is going on with
I'm happy they're losing.
But what is all of a sudden 20? Okay, so they start 24-1.
Yeah.
Since then they're 7-6. And last night it took Shea to get the game tying shot to even win the game.
Right. I hate to do the whole entire because they're the reigning champs, but like I think it's part of like, are we sure they're that good this year?
Yeah, but I know. But how did they just go 24-1 and then all of a sudden just be like a bottom 10, 7-6, a bottom 10 team?
I don't want to do the whole entire conspiracy theory. Part of me thinks there might be a league memo about the whole entire like Shea stuff. Right. I legit think Wemby kind of broke him a little bit though too, back in the cup and everything and stuff like that. Like Victor Wembanyama hates Chet. I think he broke Chet. So,
I mean,
look, they're a young team still, right? I mean, it's crazy that we're talking about them in this context. They're still a young team. They're still trying to figure stuff out, period. Like, who knows? Teams ebb and flow through the year.
yeah, it caught me off guard. I mean, they were literally cruising. We were talking about
Yeah.
potential history. Warriors 2015, was it? Yeah.
16.
2016.
Yeah.
And here we are where they just struggled to beat the Utah Jazz
Yeah.
the other night by 4
fair.
points.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Just wanted to bring that up. It's pretty
Yeah.
crazy that all of a sudden the Pistons have a chance of being the number 1 team in the
Yeah.
NBA. Only 3 games behind. So who would have ever
Cade.
thought?
Yeah.
But
All
yeah,
right.
that's it. Finally.
Yeah, you're good. Well, so now we'll get out of here on that note. We'll be back again next Thursday at 2. Should have a full house then. I mean, I don't know why we wouldn't. But until then, go with your picks, everybody. You can find the FL1 Sports Podcast here on FingerLakes1.com, the FL1 YouTube channel, and all major podcasting platforms. Enjoy the football this weekend, everybody. We'll talk again next week.